We at Wildflowers would love to invite you to join us in person for Master Artist Week. It's 8 intensive nail workshop classes packed into a fun week sprinkled with all sorts of nail shenanigans. Come and take that next step. We would love to have you. Hey everyone, my name's Lauren Weyerman and I'm the creator of Wildflowers Nails. We did our live broadcast this morning, but we had so many hiccups with the internet. I don't know what's going on, if it's the crazy weather or what, that I decided just to record because I know that there were so many of you that wanted to see this demo and I want you to be able to watch it in high definition and not have to watch the internet getting all fuzzed in and fuzzed out. So before I begin, I'm gonna do some quick announcements for you in regards to Wildflowers. So if you're new to Wildflowers, we do 3 online free classes a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over on our Facebook page. We have Manny Monday, which is what you're watching right now. We have Workshop Wednesday with Erin Brunhouse and Freestyle Friday with Jotana Rowland. That happens Friday at 6 p.m. Workshop Wednesday is Wednesday at 11 a.m. And then we keep all of these on replay over on our Facebook page. And we have a theme that we do every week and we get so excited to teach based off of our theme. So we're doing a lot of product themes for 2022. And this week our theme is the Wildflowers painting gels. So if you don't have them or have never seen them, we have the most phenomenal gel paints. We have like 50 colors. They come in these really fantastic tubes and they're so not messy at all. I think that's my favorite thing about them. When I was creating them, it's really cool. It's really cool because I get to work with chemists and get to design the stuff. And one of the biggest problems that we have with gel paints is that they're just like messy in those little pots. I mean, so messy. They don't travel well. So that was a problem that I wanted to try to solve when we released this product. And I love the formula of these. I love the viscosity. The pigmentation is through the roof. And the painting gels are primarily for doing flat art. So we have other products like the puffy gels and stuff like that if you want to do stuff that's more raised up off the nails. But these are for flat art and there are so many awesome techniques and things that you can do with the Wildflowers painting gel. So if you're watching this week, so this is for the week that begins January 17th, 2022, through I'd say the 23rd of January 2022. We have a coupon code, but it's only going to be good for this week. The code is week3, WEEK3, and it is to get 30% off of our painting gels. We have a full bundled set if you want all 50 of them. 30% off, just use that code. We have a smaller bundled set that's the rainbow bundled set that comes with 12 colors and a brush. Again, 30% off, or you could buy them open stock. So however you want to do it, 30% off this week when you use the code. It's a really great deal. So some quick Wildflowers, just general announcements before I get started with the demo. We do have a monthly glitter subscription box and it's kind of like a mystery box. It's really fun. Everybody gets the same thing. We don't just, like sling stuff in a box, but we create these glitters. We custom blend them so that we never have the same blend and nobody else has them, of course, because we custom make these. We send you these 4 glitters right to your doorstep. It's like 20 bucks a month. They are beautiful cosmetic grade glitters, couple chunky, couple micro. And so this is like the last day or two if you want January's colors. I think we flip on the 19th of the month. So if you order for like on the 19th or after that, you will get next month's, which will be February's glitters. So just wanted to let you know that that's coming up. You can order a subscription. The 6-month subscription ends up being like 20 bucks a month. And we have to where you can just pay like monthly and do it that way. That one, I think it's just a little bit more And then we also have something else at Wildflowers that we're doing. We have our 4 gel polishes that we're featuring for each month. Those are bundled together for a special price. I want to say like $39, something like that, where you get all 4 of the colors. And every month we're doing a new bundle of 4. So if you're new to the Wildflowers gel polishes and you want a way to like build your collection, 4 colors at a time every month, so you can kind of go slow and appreciate it, makes it a little bit more affordable, you have the option. So that's our January bundle for you. So classes, stuff like that. We've got some awesome classes coming up. It's my goal to have our calendar finished by the end of January. So I'm working very diligently to get all of our classes, all of our workshops, all of our stuff on this calendar to be able to release it at the end of January. Some of the stuff we're working on. So we do have a date and a location for Wildflowers Master Artist Week 2022. We will be holding it in Fort Myers, Florida at the Luminary Hotel. It will be September 16th through the 23rd, I believe. If you look at those dates, we typically on Friday night have a little sort of like get together, you know, just to kind of like, so everybody can, you know, get to know each other, introduce themselves. And then the class goes Saturday, Sunday, Monday's a half day, Tuesday you have the day off, and everybody's like, why do you do that? You'll need it. You'll understand when you come to class. And then we go Wednesday, Thursday again, all day. It ends on Thursday. It's just, we do all 8 of our art classes that week. And becoming a Wildflowers Master Artist is the first step in moving forward with the company. So if you are wanting to distribute Wildflowers products, if you want to be an educator with us, a brand ambassador, a certifier, like any of those things that we do, becoming a master artist is the first step. And so there's a couple ways that you can become a master artist. One of those is to attend Wildflowers Master Artist Week. You get it kind of all knocked out in one week. The other way to do it is to do it mostly online. We don't have it to where you can do it fully online. Reason being is because I get to know everybody that comes to Master Artist Week, and I know almost all of our master artists personally. I like to get to know you. I like to understand, you know, where you're going in this industry, what you're trying to do, and what I can do to really help you accomplish that. So I at least want to spend one day with you. And so we keep our portfolio builder class to where you have to come to that one in person. And we have some options. We're trying to build some options for 2022 for in-person portfolio builder classes. We are trying to have one at Premier Orlando for 2022 as a workshop class. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We're waiting for the show group. We're kind of like going back and forth, getting everything situated for that. So I'm just giving you kind of a preview of what we've got going on. We'll probably have one of those in the Atlanta, Georgia area. It's included in the Wildflowers Triple Threat class. So if you are going to be at the Oregon Nail Expo in Portland, Oregon, I believe that's in April, and you take the Triple Threat class, Portfolio Builder is included in that class. It's a day of art, a day of business, and a day of structure. So the Triple Threat class is a new class that we're doing. Again, it's an in-person. So we'll do that in the Atlanta area, but we're also doing that in the Portland, Oregon area. Let me think what else. We've got some of our amazing brand ambassadors and certifiers out there doing classes. I know Rosanna is going to be at the Fun and Fancy nail event. I think that one's in Massachusetts. And then she's also going to be at the Nail Tech event of the Smokies doing some classes there. So that's really exciting. But we've got just lots of stuff planned, and we will release our official events calendar. But in the meantime, you want to sign up for Master Artist Week. That one is pretty much set in stone, so you can go ahead and sign up for that one. Also, any of the Portland, Oregon classes, those ones are also available on the website right now today. So you are able to sign up for those. Yeah. I think that's it for classes, and I'm really excited that you're here. So I've got a great demo for you today, and I am going to go ahead and flip the camera and start teaching you all about this technique. All right, this is the technique that we are going to be doing today. These beautiful flowers. I just love them. They are gorgeous. And so what I'm going to do is begin by just teaching you like the general layout of the flower and how this is going to work on the nail. I know like there's a lot of fast little Pinterest videos where people do these flowers, but there's so many things that they don't tell you when they're doing them. And so hopefully on today's video, I'll be able to really break down what's actually going on in these videos. So for this particular flower, we're going to work on sort of an arch, and sometimes some people like to actually use like a gel paint and very lightly just draw this little arch as a guide. You don't have to do that, but we're going to be doing about like 5 or 6 petals in the back row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll notice that these petals over on the edges are a little bit smaller because they're actually kind of coming towards you. So when you see the petal flat, it's nice and wide. But watch what happens to my hand as I begin to turn it. Do you see how it's suddenly like not taking up so much space when you see it? We went from taking up this much space, and now as I turn my hand, oh, we're only taking up this much space. So that's basically what has to happen when you do the petals. And so with my brush, as I'm doing this, like I'll be able to, you know, apply some pressure and get a nice wide petal here. But as I do these ones, it's important to know that you do have to turn your brush to the side to be able to get those skinnier petals, okay? So that's one of the things that they definitely don't really explain, because they don't explain anything on the video. It's just like, watch me show off and be super amazing. So we'll do this row, we'll cure it. We have a secondary row, and what we want is we don't want these petals to come up higher than halfway on these guys here. This is going to be sort of a smaller section, about like that. So we'll have, and I do like to stagger. We'll have kind of a petal there and a petal there, maybe 4 petals, 1 here and 1 here. So there's our second row of petals that we'll do. We'll cure that, and then we'll work on our front row. The front row is actually going to work on sort of like a smile-shaped arc. And what's really important is you do not want these petals to overlap back here. You want to leave this space open, okay? I relate everything to food, and you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like building like having a cheese ball in the middle and putting my crackers all around it really pretty on a platter. So you have to leave room in the middle for the cheese ball, all right? So we're going to leave this space open, leave that room there, and then we're going to do our front petals. And for these ones, a lot of times they'll leave sort of a little opening. They do sort of more of a kind of squiggly petal. They'll have these ones coming about like that, something like that. So this will all connect, and this all sort of looks like one connected circle. And then we'll work on our front petals. Our front petals, these ones will come down towards us. We'll have some going out like that. And then we'll add a couple little ones over on the sides, and we'll be all connected. So this is the basic layout of our nail. Now, I'm going to show you the best way to do these petals. You can use a couple different brushes to do this if you want. You can use the lime brush, which looks about like this, got a nice, it's like a little baby tongue. Or you can try to work with your indigo brush. Again, this one's I'd say like this one's a little more advanced. So if you're just beginning, try to find like a nice little tongue-shaped brush. This is ours from Wildflowers. This is actually from our vegan brush set. The vegan brush set is a great brush set to start out with. So if you are like new to nail art and you're just looking for a great little set, this is what the vegan brush set looks like. It's 6 vegan brushes, which means they're made not from Kolinsky sable hair. They're made from like a really, really high quality synthetic hair. And just to show you real fast what comes in this set, just so that you know, we've got an angled one. We've got some, like this is like what they call a gel oval brush. We've got a detail brush, which is basically the same as our magenta brush. And then we have like a longer version of the same thing. So this is what this brush set looks like when you open them all up. So I'm going to be using these, let's see, 1, 2, 3 brushes out of the set right here. I'll close these guys up. Well, I'll close them up after. I don't want to hold y'all up. Okay, and we're going to be working with the Wildflowers painting gels. Before I begin, I'm going to take my nail tip and we're just going to color this black. This is our black gel polish called Void from the Wildflowers gel polish collection. So we'll take this. Of course, you want to work in a nice thin coat. Most of the time, most of our colors are one coat application, but like I get nervous to say that because you can't just glop it on thick or you will have issues curing it. So you do have to kind of apply it carefully. I do recommend that you do 2 thin coats. It's always better to do 2 thin coats of gel polish whenever possible, but it does have pretty good coverage even with just 1 thin coat. So we'll start there, give that a 30-second cure in the LED light. I'm probably just going to do 1 coat just to kind of move things along quickly. All right, next we are going to use one of the Wildflowers painting gels. I showed you these guys earlier. They're fabulous and I love that they're not messy. So you're just going to squeeze a little bit onto your palette. You really don't need much at all. Just that simple and easy. And then to prepare our brush, what we're going to do is we're going to just swipe through this product a little bit. And I'm going to show you quickly just how to make a basic petal, because don't skip this part. If you've never done this, don't skip this part. Pay really close attention to what I'm about to show you, okay? I like to get the gel paint in the bristles of my brush, okay? So it can be a little on the dry side. You don't have to see like pure white. You can see the bristles through it. But before we actually paint the petal, it's a good idea to just dab the very tip into the painting gel. That's going to help you get a nice round tip on your petal when you put your brush down. Okay, so you're going to put your brush down, pull towards you just so slightly, and then you'll watch your bristles go out. As you pull towards you, ease up, ease up, ease up, ease up, ease up, ease up your pressure just like that. And what you'll do is you'll see a color transition where it looks very light and bright out towards the edge. You should have a nice rounded shape on your petal. And then as it comes towards you, it should lighten up and almost get a little bit scratchy. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to come in here and put your brush down and push really hard like on the silver part of the brush. If you're pushing too hard on the silver part of the brush and like mashing that almost down to where your bristles are folded, what happens is you end up with a very rectangular petal, okay? So to show you kind of from the side what just happened, what I did was I put my brush down and then I pushed like the ferrule of the brush down almost against the surface of the nail. It spreads your petals out and makes it almost rectangular in its shape. So when you do your petal, what you want to do is get just a little bit on the tip. You want to set the tip, you want to work at 45 degrees, okay, from the surface of the nail. So if this is the surface of the nail, 45 degrees like this, you want to set your brush down, fuzz, set the tip of your brush down and pull forward just like 1 millimeter. Push down a little bit. The silver part isn't actually touching the surface of the nail. So push down just a little bit on that. Let the bristles spread. And then as you bring it forward, like lighten, 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 lighten until you just, and see how we have like a softer shape petal. It's really hard to do it sideways, but I'll show you one more time from just a top view. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to press down, and I'm going to pull towards me just a little bit as I lighten up. You'll get a much rounder shape on the top rather than just pressing the silver part against the nail, okay? So that's the basics. A little bit of gel in the bristles is a good thing. You don't want to get too much, but you do want to get just a little bit in those bristles. All right, let's take it to the nail. So we'll start with that first back row of petals, a quick little dip into my painting gel. I'm going to press. Pull towards me and just really lighten up as I come in. There's our first petal. Press. Pull towards me. Second petal. Press. Third petal. Now on these ones, I'm going to start to turn my brush so that I'm not getting like full flat contact. We're going to make these guys just a little thinner. So with my brush a little bit on its side, press, come in. Same thing over here. Press, come in, okay? So this is gonna be our back row of petals. I might add just one more for fun. Just right over here. Ah, perfect, okay. Back row of petals. Looking pretty good. If you have any bright white spots, a lot of times it'll mess with the dimension. So it's not a bad idea to come and just swipe those out because it'll kind of mess with like what's closest to you and what's furthest away. So we'll give this a cure. And then we're going to do our next row of petals that we discussed. So when we look at the sheet, that was the back row up here that we just did. Now we're going to do this inner row. So again, just as a reminder, we don't want the tips of the petals to go more than halfway up that back row that we just did. And they're going to be kind of in just a little, like it's going to fit inside. So here's my nail. And here we go. And we're going to just kind of get our brush ready. Get a little bit of gel in there. This row can be a little lighter and a little brighter. So don't be afraid to like have just a little more product on your brush. Press. A little bit on the tip. Press. Press. I'm going to try to turn this guy on its side just a little bit here. We got that little bright white. We really don't want that yet. There will be like times that we want that bright white to show up, but right now, not really, not so much. All right, so we've got our inside row. Cure that. Now you can come through and brighten it back up, or you can leave it. It's really sort of up to you what you decide to do. I'm going to just scoot these like back down in the picture here so you can kind of get a better idea of what we're aiming towards. Okay. You can see in this one, I believe I might have used my indigo brush for these guys over here. It's a little scratchier looking. And I think I used my lime brush for this one here. So it just depends on whether you want the petals to look a little more scratchy or a little more put together. Okay. So now what we're going to do is work on that front row. And you can see in that front row, we've got those two that have that little kind of opening happening. And we're going to leave room for our cheese ball in the middle. If this was a plate of crackers, we'd be definitely leaving room for that little cheese ball in the middle. So pressing, coming over to the side, but then swooping inward is how we get that sort of like little comma shape. We're going to do same thing in the opposite direction. Pressing, coming over, and then swooping in just like that. These ones are going to come and swoop in as well. Okay, cool. I am going to go in there and just, reason that we want to get rid of that bright white is because it's actually on the wrong side of the petal. Like if we were going to have a bright white, we would not want it on that side of the petal. We would want it on the inside of the petal to give us like the proper dimension that we're looking for. Okay, let's work on this bottom row. So I would ask my client to just flip their hand for me, meaning like instead of sitting like this, I'd ask them to turn their fingers up that way. And this one is just straight down. I'm going to press. Really kind of lighten up as we get up towards the flower. And these ones are going to overlap. Can you hear me holding my breath? I'm like, all right. Get these ones over here, press, and as we come in, we're pulling sort of over to the side a little bit. Pressing and pulling in. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Press. Pull in. Okay, cool. So now all we're missing is just right on these edges on both sides. So these ones are kind of fun to do. I've also seen people get this far and then like really screw their flower up. So if you want to cure, go ahead and cure. But what we're going to do is come, and you want to stay sort of in line with what's happening. So don't start your petal way out here. Stay in line with what's going on. Press, and then you're just going to pull sort of in the same way. Got to twist your brush just a hair. Just like that. Just fill in a couple petals on the sides. Don't overthink it or overcomplicate it. Just stay inside of like the perimeter. That's my best advice to you. Press, and then we got to do just a little twist and pull. We only even needed one over there. One's enough. It filled it in. So here we are. All right. At this point, we're going to cure this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to brighten and highlight some areas. Some videos I've watched, like they do the color and then they come back and highlight. So I've seen those done like several different ways, but I feel like it is important to sort of highlight, to come through and highlight. You can even do like a layer of ink just to get your blue color established. And then you can top coat over it and do like a secondary layer. So maybe that's what we'll do this time. So I'm going to take this, I've cured it, and let's see, shall we? Okay, here's what we'll do. We're going to do just some highlighting real quick with our white gel paint before we put any blue on there. So I'm going to get in here and I'm just going to brighten these guys up. These ones that are in the front row, and not necessarily even like going over the bottom of this petal. It's mainly just the top. Just to sort of establish like this is the closest thing to you. This is in the front. It's nice and bright. There's no mistaking it for being like part of the background. So it just brings it towards you a little bit more. And just these ones right in the middle center. And I'm really just focusing on the outer edge. So pressing and pulling in. Pressing on my outer edge and pulling in. So there we go. At this point, if you want to do some highlighting, you can, or you can go back after putting a layer of blue. So let's cure this. And then what we'll do is we'll take our blue ink. So we have our blue ink right here. We have 3 sets of inks at Wildflowers. So this is going to be in the 456 collection. This is number 6. We'll take this and we're just going to quickly like paint this on almost like it's nail polish. So just a quick sort of washing. And just thin. We don't want it to puddle or pool. We want it to go on and we want it to just like dry quickly. So I'm going to wipe my brush really well. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. It's on there. It's drying. So this is just going to give it that blue like basic color. And then what we can do is, and now is the time, if you want to do some highlighting, you can take your magenta brush or your detail brush with some of the gel paints, and you can come in here and just highlight some certain places. So we'll take this and just... Now, when you're highlighting, you really want to think about like, where am I putting these highlights? What makes the most sense? And what makes the most sense, like if the light is going to be closest to you, what's going to make the most sense is to highlight the part of the petal that's like the edge of the petal that's closest to you. So just like that, just around the front. I'm not trying to get too crazy with like highlighting. Or if you see some areas where like it could use just a little more definition. Just don't start getting like too crazy, because I'll tell you what too crazy looks like. Hold on. This is what too crazy looks like. This is me. It looks like an octopus flower, like crazy, way too much going on with the highlights. So don't get, that was my first attempt. It was like last week when I was like, darn it, I'm so sick of seeing these videos where they do these really fast little like flower petals and then just stick the ink on and it's so perfect. Like every one of us knows that like it doesn't actually happen like that. There's steps and things that are happening that they just don't tell you about when you watch these videos a lot of times. So like, can it be a fast nail? Yes, it definitely can be a fast nail. You have to practice. You have to put some practice in. Okay, so there's my little highlights. If I have a little spot, like, of course, there's always going to be some little spot of imperfection. If it bothers you enough to fix it, then fix it. And if it doesn't bother you, then leave it alone. Don't bother with it. But this looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and cure this. And now I'm going to put a top coat on this because I feel like adding a layer of top coat makes it a little bit easier when we go in to darken like where our ink is. So I'm going to use the Wildflowers metallic top coat. You could also use the top coat gel, but the metallic top coat is just it's meant for like layering. It's kind of a thinner viscosity. So okay, here it comes. We're going to do just a quick thin coat of the Wildflowers metallic top coat. There we go. Perfect. Looks perfect to me. We'll go ahead and put this in the light. 30 seconds. And then we're going to come with the ink again and we're going to darken some areas. We're going to darken some areas and we're going to kind of blend it. So in order to blend, I like to use a brush like this. This is equivalent to like our Kolinsky Indigo brush. But if you have the vegan brush set, it's going to be this blue colored one. And this one's so great. You want to wet your brush with alcohol, okay? But you don't want your brush to actually be like wet when you go to use it. And we're just going to use the very little tip when it comes to blending. So where are we going to add another layer of ink? Where are we going to darken this up? We are going to darken this up, and I'm wiping because I don't want to get like too much going on, but we are going to darken right in here. Right in that area, like kind of in the middle. And you'll see like I have a nice little line going on. That's going to happen. We're also going to darken this back row back here. So we'll be able to blend that line right out. You could put a layer of matte top coat. You just have to watch because when you put matte top coat on top of ink, a lot of times, you know, matte is a suspension base, so it will try to, it'll try to kind of pull. It'll try to pull that ink right back off, so. All right, so check out what I'm doing. You saw me wet this like maybe 30 seconds ago and kind of rub it on my hand. Just kind of tickling that line with the very tips of this brush is enough to kind of blend that out. There's just enough like alcohol left in this brush. It's kind of dry. I'm gonna re-wet it with alcohol, but you really wanna give it a minute to kind of like not have a bunch of alcohol in it, because then you're just gonna make more lines. So it's really important to, it's still a tiny bit wet. It's almost like we're just kind of blotting this out. Lovely. Love it. Looks great. Last little step that I'm going to do is we're going to put that little center in there. And so that part's actually kind of easy. Oh, one more thing. You know what? I forgot one place where I want to add a little depth with ink. How could I forget? Right in the middle there. Again, like really, really drying my brush, but like right in here. And of course, look, it made like a big circle, so we'll be able to just blend that out. Really don't want it on the tips of these petals, so I'm actually going to come in with a little bit of like wet alcohol just to get it off those. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna take a little bit of gel paint. We're gonna take some like a yellow. You know, if you really wanted to, like if you really, really want to, and again, like this kind of depends on who the customer is and all that stuff. You can come back with your brush and even just, I still have gel paint like kind of left on my brush. You can come back in here and brighten up certain areas if you want to. You could even take your magenta brush, but like don't get crazy and don't get carried away is what I'll say, because it's can be kind of easy to get carried away with it, and then you're gonna be like taking way too long on this nail. So but you can go back through and do a little more highlighting if you really, really want to, but you don't have to. All right, let's do the center of this flower. I'm going to take our school bus yellow color. Just a tiny pinch of this. Ooh, just a tiny pinch. And maybe some sunflower. I'm almost just like letting it touch the palette and then suck back in. Okay, and I'm gonna just use this indigo brush kind of dry. And just right in here. creating our choose ball, as I referred to it before. Again, like everything we're doing has some dimension to it. So like you don't want to take this bright yellow and stick it like down in the depths. Like you don't want it down in here, okay? You want to kind of keep it up top and use it as a highlight. Get just a little bit of white in there too. Cute. Cure that, and then we'll put our top coat gel on top of it, and that is it. So hopefully that helps you figure out, and once you kind of understand that there's like actually kind of layering going on and some highlighting and some stuff like that, it really helps you sort of understand. And now when you see these little like fast petal Pinterest videos, hopefully you will be able to sort of have a better understanding of what's really going on the video, and of course you'll be able to do your petals faster, I'm sure. We're gonna just add one final top coat using the Wildflowers top coat gel. That's our favorite for doing a final top coat. And again, don't forget, I would love, love, love to see you at the Wildflowers Master Artist Week. It will be held in Fort Myers, Florida, 2021, September 16th through 23rd. And I would love to have you there. We are doing all new designs for 2021. So even if you're already a master artist, I encourage you to come to class. We're doing all new designs, and it will change your life and your career. And we just don't have enough fantastic things to say about it. So I would just absolutely love, love, love to see you there. Love to have you there. Love to teach. Love to teach you in person. Such a cool event. So here is our finished look. Another one to add to the collection. So hope you enjoyed this. If you loved it, please share it. We would love that. Have a great week, everyone.